Alright, what's up guys? So, Police Force 2.0 has uploaded a video titled Female Cop Plants Drugs, Gets Caught in Action. Nah, man, that's something that would be that would be mad scary. That would be so scary where you're trying to plead your case, but it's like if you're dealing with, see, the thing is this, I feel like that it'll be the one cop that's there that's planting the drugs, and then there'll be the one cop where they don't really catch on to stuff like that, right? But my thing is that I'll be scared they'll be like all the cops is in on it, and I'm like I wouldn't even know what to do in this. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't even know what to do in a situation like that, because it's like I could go and say, well, like, no, like, test me for drugs and stuff. Like, I'll pee in the cup right now. It's like, no, test me. And then they're like, no, we ain't doing that. And then then it's just, that I'm going to prison on some silly stuff. And then knowing my luck, it'll be on something where I'll be like 50, close to 60 or something. Then that's when, like, whoever that cop is, then that's when they get in trouble for it. And I'm all like, and then that were like, oh, well, we want to pay you back. I'm like, bro, I'm 50, 60 years old. I'm like, you guys should have did something back then when y'all sentenced me to like 10 years in prison over some stuff, man. I'm like, so yeah, it's just it's I don't know why there's cops that do stuff like that, but man, and what's crazy is like they don't be sitting down thinking of like what would happen if they get caught, and then they be thinking like, oh, I'm never gonna get caught, I'm never gonna. What happened in this video. So anyways, let's go ahead and check this video out. Make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Police Force 2.0 for more videos like this. And then that being said,
NYPD duo caught running a drug planting scheme. In Staten Island, New York, two police officers named Kyle Erickson and Elmer Pastrana found themselves in a bit of a run-in with the law when it was discovered that they had planted marijuana on two separate occasions after pulling over cars for minor traffic violations. Their scheme involved stopping vehicles and claiming that the vehicles smelled like weed. The first incident that brought Erickson and Pastrana's conduct to public attention happened in February 2018 for a marijuana possession case involving a man named Lassou Kouyaté. During the trial, Erickson testified under oath that he found a marijuana cigarette on the backseat floor of Kouyaté's car. However, this testimony was contradicted by body camera footage.
Alright, this was in the back seat on the floor. It's a marijuana cigarette. It's wet. Just had to put it out.
When the video footage of the search was reviewed, it showed.
my thing is like what they need to start doing is test. Why? Yeah, can't they test it for fingerprints? Like, I don't know if that would be able to work or not, but yeah, that's what I about. Like, nah, my fingerprints ain't on that. I'm like, test my fingerprints and see if it's on it. I'm like, but I guess like if it's rolling around in my car or whatever, then yeah, well, if a cop like puts it in my seat, I don't know if like my DNA will. I don't know how that stuff will work, but I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, we're gonna have to do a little bit more of investigating, because I'm like, I don't believe that. I don't believe y'all found a blunt in my car, and I'm like, I don't even smoke. So yeah, that's why, nah, bro.
Marijuana on the car's rear floor a number of times. In fact, it even captured Erickson telling Pastrana.
We gotta find it. You know what I mean?
Right after these words, the officer's camera mysteriously went off. When the camera came back on after 4 minutes,
They need to have it where those cameras, no, you like the police officer can't turn it off themselves. It has to be something where it's like you radio it in and it's all like, hey, I need you to turn my camera off real quick or something. And then, yeah, so that's how they need to do it. But it's like, I feel like that with cops with them body cams, they're all like, when things just mysteriously go off, nah, bro, I don't believe things is just gonna mysteriously. I'm like, I don't see no mystery machine from Scooby-Doo, so therefore I'm like, nah, ain't nothing going off. I'm like, keep that camera on at all times. If I was like, no, if I was like a boss or whatever that worked at a police station, because I don't think they call him boss. I don't know if it's sergeant or captain. Regardless, all right. But anyways, I'm like, no, don't you guys turn your cameras off mysteriously for any old reason. If you shady, quit. If you're not, go out and do the job, okay? So
Erickson was seen picking up a marijuana cigarette and announcing his alleged discovery in the back of the car, despite his partner's earlier statement that he didn't see anything there. As a result of this incident, Kouyaté ended up spending 2 weeks in jail before being released on bail. He decided to sue the city after his charges were dropped, and he was awarded a settlement of $326,000.
that's good. That's good.
But Erickson and Pastrana didn't stop there, as there was no accountability for these rogue cops. Less than 2 weeks after Kouyaté's arrest in March 2018, they pulled over another car and claimed to find marijuana and even cocaine. The man they arrested this time was Jason Serrano, who was sitting in the passenger seat of his friend's car. The officers claimed the car had a broken taillight, but as soon as the driver rolled down the window, Erickson and Pastrana declared that they smelled weed and ordered both occupants out of the car.
The car smells like marijuana, so we're gonna check it, all right? There's nothing in the car, you'll be good to go, all right?
The body camera footage of this incident revealed a troubling sequence of events. Serrano, who was recovering from abdominal surgery after being stabbed, showed his wound to Erickson while explaining that he could barely move.
I don't want to see that right now, okay? Okay.
Then the officers demanded to search Serrano's jacket, which he refused,
Oh, wow.
insisting there was nothing incriminating inside. The officers quickly became aggressive, pushing the wounded to the ground and handcuffing him as he groaned in pain. As Serrano lay bleeding on the sidewalk, more officers and bystanders gathered, waiting for an ambulance. Meanwhile, Pastrana searched Serrano's jacket, and Erickson meticulously searched the car. Erickson could be heard saying his notorious line,
Yeah, we gotta find something.
Erickson used a flashlight to search around the front seat but found nothing. He grew frustrated and returned to Pastrana to suggest searching the entire car. Erickson returned to the front seat area, dropping a larger bud in the drink holder and declaring,
A little bit of weed.
He opened a wallet and searched.
Oh my god, it's like, man, cops being that dumb. Yeah, that's why it's like, I don't get, like, so what if you go like a fool's? My thing is this: if I'm a cop and I don't arrest nobody that day, I feel like, okay, the streets is good, or maybe I'm just a bad cop at finding things. But like, it's stuff like that where I don't understand. Like, you hear where some cops are there like, I don't want to fill out that paperwork, that's too much, I'm not doing all of that. And then you got cops where they're all like, no, and I guess maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe they might get a promotion or get like, just like a better position, like, I don't know, more pay, better position, whatever the situation is. But it's like, you're putting other people's lives in danger on some silly stuff. Like, these cops, man, there's just some cops that don't need to be cops.
Areas he had already looked at. Later on, Erickson fiddled through Serrano's jacket again as Pastrana approached him.
Yeah, no, he had weed. You could see his weed here.
Throughout this process, Serrano was about to be taken away on a stretcher. Erickson asked Pastrana if he was good, and both officers fist bumped each other at the end of their scheme. Interestingly, the few words exchanged between Erickson and Pastrana during Serrano's arrest mirrored their conversation during G2A's arrest.
That's crazy.
At the time, Serrano was charged with drug possession, resisting arrest, and obstructing governmental administration. Months later, in a court decision in 2021, a Staten Island judge overturned Serrano's conviction after reviewing the body camera footage and the disciplinary records of the two officers. Those records revealed that Erickson had been disciplined by the NYPD in 2 separate incidents earlier that same year for invoice discrepancies related to drug seizures. Judge Tomiko Amaker noted that in normal circumstances, because of his guilty plea, Serrano would be unable to vacate his conviction. However, this court finds that the body-worn camera footage taken with the officer's disciplinary files demonstrate that the defendant may have been searched and seized in violation of his constitutional rights. Amaker wrote as she granted the motion to vacate Serrano's conviction. The NYPD has not yet responded to requests for comment about the status of the 2 officers on the force. Pastrana is listed in the department's personnel database as being on military or extended leave. Erickson's name, however, does not appear in the database. If you think this story was wild, wait till you hear our next one, where a single Florida cop...
I was like, bro, there was more time. I was like, wait a second. I was like, I want my money back, even though it's free to watch these videos. I was like, no, that wasn't enough. I was like, you mean to tell me it's gonna be 4 minutes of an intro? I was like, all right, but there's, it's the second part, okay? So I'm calm now, all right? But anyways.
Was convicted for dozens of cases of planting drugs and falsifying evidence. Number 2, Florida cop gets caught planting drugs by his own body cam. A Florida sheriff's deputy named Zachary Wester was caught red-handed for planting drugs and was found guilty of various charges, including racketeering, fabricating evidence, official misconduct, false imprisonment, and possession of controlled substances and paraphernalia. But this wasn't the first time Wester found himself in trouble. He started his career in law enforcement back in 2015 by working as a deputy for the Liberty County Sheriff's Office. He left that job after less than a year due to allegations of sexual misconduct. However, Wester...
He got that look on his face where he's all like, oh, well, I got good lawyers. They gonna get me off of this case and things. So I'm not tripping about it. He's all like, go ahead and say what you're gonna say, Judge. What, 2-3 years? I'm fine with that. Yeah, until she say like you getting 67 years plus this plus that.
Stop him. In May 2016, he landed a job at the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, where he quickly gained a reputation as an aggressive patrol deputy with an impressive number of drug arrests under his belt. But as time went on, eyebrows were raised, and in the summer of 2018, prosecutors in Mariana eventually discovered inconsistencies in his police reports and body camera footage. One particular damning video showed him holding a plastic baggie before searching a woman's truck and arresting her for possessing methamphetamine. After an internal investigation, Wester was suspended and later fired from his position. During this time, a thorough search of his patrol car uncovered a stash of ready-to-plant drugs and paraphernalia hidden in the trunk. In 2019, he was finally arrested following an extensive investigation by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. As a result of his crimes, nearly 120 cases involving Wester had to be dropped by prosecutors.
Whoa.
The modus operandi for Wester was disturbingly consistent. He would initiate traffic stops for minor infractions and then use the pretext of smelling marijuana to search the victim's vehicles. He would then pretend to find drugs such as meth or marijuana, leading innocent people to end up in jail on bogus charges. The consequences for these victims...
that would be so crazy where it's like, oh, you're under... If a cop approached me, he's like, yeah, you're under arrest for, having meth and things. I'm like, meth? I'm like, no, you got the wrong guy. I'm like, nah, you 100% have the wrong... That's something where I would be in jail and I would just be more so confused, like, meth? Like, how is it that you can find that when I don't smoke it, sell it? Like, I follow the laws. Like, my thing is like, I go out in public. Like, I think it's funny if like people, if they just capture like the times when I go outside. I literally go to the store to get energy drinks, in sneaker stores to either get clothes or sneakers. I'm like, those are the only places that I go to. Yeah, I might go like out to like little trips with the family and things, but like meth? I'm like, oh nah, bro. That's something where I'm like, I would just be confused, like, and then asking the cop, like, what are you sure? I'm like, cause that's not me. And so yeah, that's something where it's just, that would just be confusing. I'm like, as a person where it's like, you don't do that, you don't sell it, how do you find that in a person's car?
Were devastating as their lives crumbled due to false accusations. One such victim, Stephen Van, a former felon who had recently been released from jail when he was pulled over by Wester.
Oh, I think I remember
Van allowed
this.
The officer to search his vehicle, believing he had nothing to hide.
Cause he even did it to like a older woman and stuff, and it's all like, bro, come on now. Like, I'm not saying that, like, oh yeah, it's like just because she's an old woman she can't do drugs and things, but no, I'm saying like the way she looked, she did not look like the type of person that did drugs. And that's just, yeah, I think I remember this one. I remember because it was no, they have it like on that TV show Court Cam.
But to his surprise, Wester discovered methamphetamine in his car.
Okay, all right. Honesty's gonna go a long way with me, okay, man?
Yeah.
All right.
What?
I've got to test this. Have you ever seen this before?
No.
After Wester was done performing the tests on the discovered drugs in Van's car, he came to talk to the poor man again and subsequently arrested him.
That's crazy.
All right, look, man. It did field test presumptive positive for methamphetamine. Okay? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If I read you your rights, will you talk to me?
But the damning evidence against Wester came
Yep.
from his own body camera footage. And this truly came to the fore in the case of Teresa Odom. Like all of his victims, Wester pulled over Odom for a routine traffic stop. In the beginning, the officer came off as a bit friendly with Odom, even joking with her a little bit. He then asked her to step out of the car to perform his checks, to which she complied.
Yeah, he was all like, because I think he said like, oh, you got any like rocket launchers or, a military weapon. He said something along those lines. And yeah, it's like he plays it up like it's cool. So it's like, all right, well, search the car. You ain't going to find nothing. All I say, he come back and talk about we found meth in the car. I'm like, no, that like there's no way possible that you found meth in my car. That's
Assuming, saying she had nothing to hide. As she walked away from the vehicle, the deputy prepared to search it. Wester began putting on his gloves, and for a brief moment, a small bag was visible in his left hand.
That's crazy.
Prosecutors believe this was the bag Wester planted and claimed to have found next to a spoon in the car. Despite his denial of planting any illegal substances, the evidence strongly pointed in the other direction. To get back at the system for the harm caused by Wester, The victims came together and reached a nearly $1 million federal court settlement. Over 30 victims who were arrested by Wester and later filed a suit agreed to the settlement, which was finalized in October 2022 in the U.S. District Court in Pensacola. The settlement conference was presided over by U.S. Magistrate Judges Hope Cannon and Michael Frank. The amount awarded to each plaintiff varied depending on the damages they suffered, ranging from just under $20,000 to more than $70,000. Among the victims, Benjamin Bowling faced the tragic consequences of losing custody of his daughter due to Wester's arrest. Plaintiffs like Bowling received the highest amounts in the settlement. The Sheriff's Office and the Florida Sheriff's Risk Management Fund will cover the settlement. Meanwhile, Wester himself is currently serving a 12-and-a-half-year prison sentence for his despicable actions. If you want to keep up with the latest updates and news on these cases, then please subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't be going out there doing that type of stuff and then think like, oh, okay, it's gonna be okay. Like, no, it's not. It's like you out here messing up people's lives because you want to, being good with the boss and stuff at your job. No, bruh. I'm like, don't be out here messing my life up just so you can have a better life. That ain't cool. So, yeah, that was crazy, man. Make sure if you guys haven't, though, go subscribe to Police Force 2.0 for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me, too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.